Hey, what's up people, welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. In this video we are going to take a look at the ownership review of the Yamaha R15 version 3. Yes, the bike which is standing right in front of me is a 3 years old bike, and I'm gonna share my experience about this bike in this video. So without wasting any time, let's jump straight into the video. I have seen lots of videos on YouTube wherein they have done a 1 year or 2 year ownership review of the Yamaha R15 version 3, but personally I haven't seen a 3 years ownership review of this bike. So I thought of making such a video so that it will be helpful for all those people who are looking forward to buy this bike. So let's start off with the pros and cons about this 150cc machine. First advantage which I'm going to speak about this bike is the overall looks of this bike. So personally I think that this is one of the good looking motorcycle in the 150 to 200cc segment, because the way Yamaha has put up things together on this bike, right from the front fairing to the tail section, everything is put up in such a way that it looks super sporty and attractive from every possible angles, and that is one of the major reason why most of the youngsters are actually preferring to go for this bike, which has actually led to the drastic increase in the sales rate of this bike in the recent years. So in terms of look, I would rate it 10 out of 10. The second advantage which I'm going to speak about this bike is the performance. Well, this bike is powered by an 150cc single cylinder engine which produces a max power of 19.3 bhp and 14.2 newton meters of torque, which makes this bike as the most powerful 150cc bike in the Indian market. Also, this bike has VVA technology which makes the performance of this bike far more superior when compared to the previous generation R15. This 150cc bike competes with most of the 200cc bikes out in the market because of this VVA technology, which keeps the power band constant throughout the rev range, and that is the reason why this bike has good amount of top end. Well, I personally clocked 154 kilometers on this bike a year before, and even after 3 years of usage, still this bike easily does 140 to 150 kilometers per hour, and that is how the engine is designed. A big thumbs up for Yamaha for designing such an engine, because I'm totally impressed with the overall performance of this bike, and even I would rate 10 out of 10 for the performance which this bike is offering. The third advantage which I'm going to tell is the maintenance. The maintenance of the Yamaha R15 version 3 is on the lower side, and I have ridden this bike for more than 34,000 kilometers. So let me quickly give you a detailed information of the maintenance part of this bike. When it comes to general service, this bike needs to be serviced on a regular interval of 3 to 4 months, and it comes with 5 free services. So for the free service you will be charged around 1000 to 1200 rupees, and for the paid service you will be charged around 1600 to 1800 rupees. So that's all about the general service of this bike. Apart from the general service, you need some parts to be replaced on regular interval on this bike. So let's start off with the brake pads. So the brake pads needs to be changed on every 5000 to 10,000 kilometers, which will cost you around 2000 rupees on an Yamaha service center. And apart from that, you will be facing some issues on the front forks after 10,000 kilometers, like probably there will be an oil leakage, or you need to change the oil seal. So that will cost you around 1000 to 2000 rupees. This will happen only after 10,000 kilometers. On initial period there will be no issues on the forks. So moving on to the chain sprocket, we have to replace the chain sprocket at every 15 to 25,000 kilometers. So again, it depends on the way you maintain the chain sprocket. I personally replaced the chain sprocket at 18,000 kilometers, and it costed me 2500 rupees on an authorized Yamaha service center. From that, I didn't got any major problems on the engine or on the speedometer or on the headlight. Everything is good so far. I have replaced the tires on this bike. So I have moved from MRF to Michelin. It costed me around 5500 rupees for both the front as well as the rear tire. The quality of the parts which they have used on this bike is really good, and there isn't any need to change the parts on regular interval, which makes the maintenance part of this bike really cheaper. The fourth and final advantage which I'm going to tell about this bike is the mileage. Well, when I bought this bike, I was expecting a mileage of 35 in the city and 40 kmpl on the highways. But when I tested this bike, it returned me 40 kmpl on the city and 52 kmpl on the highways, which is something I wasn't expecting totally. I was literally shocked when I saw that this bike returned me 52 kmpl. So I did back-to-back mileage test on the upcoming months, but still it returned me 50 kmpl, 48 kmpl on the highways at a cruising speed of 90 to 100. Also, I have heard from most of the R15 owners that this bike is returning 45 and 50 kmpl on the highways, and I was wondering how an 150cc bike which is capable of giving such a good performance can also give good amount of mileage. The quality of the parts as well as the technology which they have used on this engine is the reason why this bike is being an all-rounder in terms of performance as well as the mileage. So that is the reason why most of the people are preferring to go for the R15 version 3 when compared to the other bikes on this segment. So these are the overall advantages which I have found on this bike in the past 3 years of my ownership. So let's move on to the disadvantage part of this bike. The first disadvantage of this bike is the riding posture. Well, as you can see here, this bike comes with a sporty riding posture, and the handlebars are lowered, which will make you to lean forward while riding this bike, and it will give you a sporty feel. So if you're planning to take this bike for a short city spin or for a short ride, then it will be good. If you are planning to do long rides, it is always recommendable to buy a sports tourer or a power cruiser motorcycle like the Dominar 400. It's not like we can't do long rides on an R15 version 3. If it is an 100 to 200 kilometers ride range, it will be good to cover on this bike, but anything above that will make you feel tired and you will end up with lot of body pains. So that is the reason why I'm not actually advising you guys to do long rides on this bike, and if you have any plans of doing long rides, I won't recommend to buy this bike. The final drawback which I would like to tell about the Yamaha R15 version 3 is the quality of the fiber which they have used on this bike. As you can see here, this is a fiber material, but the quality of the material is very poor, that if you try to apply some pressure here, there are chances that this part would actually come off. So that is something which I didn't expect from Yamaha. But again, for the price range, I think that it is kind of okay. And also I don't like the quality of the indicators on this bike, because there are chances that this might actually come off. I have replaced the indicators twice, but again it actually comes off from this part. So I don't like that. And I have to tell about the light illumination of this bike. This LED lights don't split up, so you won't get good amount of visibility when you ride this bike during the night times. So I would actually recommend projector headlamps here, but this LED headlights are not that much impressive. It's not like you can't ride this bike during the night times, but I was expecting a better amount of visibility on the headlight. So that is kind of disappointing. So the drawbacks which I have mentioned on this bike aren't major problems, so you can actually get used to the build quality and the headlight visibility of this bike. So with that, I would like to conclude this video over here. Yamaha R15 version 3 is the best 150cc entry-level super sports bike which you can buy right now in India, and it has been an all-rounder in terms of performance, mileage, looks, maintenance. Everything is superb on this bike. Apart from the riding quality, I love everything on this bike, and if you are planning to do short rides, you can definitely buy this bike. But if you're planning to do long rides, I won't recommend this bike for you guys. So with that, I'm planning to end this video over here. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, please do follow me on Instagram. I have dropped the Instagram link on the screen as well as on the video description. See you guys on another video. Till then, ride safe, wear helmet, take care, bye bye.